What's going on YouTube? Rdapdan here. So it's been well over a month since I've posted a video, actually closer to 2 months. As you see, the title of the video clearly explains that I was actually taken back to county jail, and I just got back out last Tuesday, a week ago Tuesday. So that was on April 19th. I was brought to county in Spokane, Washington. I spent 27 days in county jail, and it's been a rough month, that's for sure. As you guys know, I live in the federal halfway house, so there was an issue in the federal halfway house that I put myself into that caused me to get taken by the marshals and had to do 27 days. And I'll get into what happened in a second, but just so you guys know, I was extremely lucky because, as most of you know, I also did the Rdap program while I was in prison. And whenever you get any type of shot or incident report, especially if it's considered like a Series 200 or a Series 100 shot, a Series 100 shot is worse than a 200. 300 is the lesser of all of them. So my shot was a Series 200 shot. And basically, here's a copy of the incident report. And I'll go ahead and read that to you in a second. Just going to show it to you so you can see what an incident report looks like. And I put myself in a situation not thinking and not using the tools that I had available at the time, and allowed myself to make a really stupid decision. And at the time, it felt like no big deal. So basically what happened goes back to March 21st, which I believe was a Monday. March 21st, I left work, went back to the halfway house. They had dinner there for us. They give you 3 meals a day that they take care of for you. And the meal that night happened to be Chinese food. So while I was eating my Chinese food, I thought it would be, I want some chips to put in my Chinese food. We have a vending machine in there. Vending machine sells, we got some corn tortilla chips in there, and we've got some hot Fritos. So I was like, man, some barbecue hot Fritos would really go good in this bland, boring, wannabe Chinese food that I was eating. So I went over to the vending machine and I put my dollar bill into the vending machine. It spit it back out. I did a little, you put it on the side of the machine, you do a little straighten it out, stuck it back in. It took it. I picked my selection for the barbecue Fritos, which was A1 or A4, I can't remember. So as I pressed the button, I happened to notice it was too late, I'd already selected it, that clearly somebody before me had an issue with the vending machine. They didn't give them their food or whatever. And this is one of the vending machines that has the whole front panel is like a thick plastic or glass. You can see through it basically and see what's in the vending machine. It's got little corkscrews where the food spins out and then it drops the front one. Well, as I'm watching the corkscrew spin for the food that I selected, I'm looking at the chips and they're set back 3 or 4 behind where it should be. When somebody had pushed in the glass, they had taken some out of there, obviously without paying for them. So I was like, fuck, I just paid for these chips. It's not going to give them to me now. So instead of doing the right thing, which I should have done, is just gone up to the front and said, hey, vending machine ate my money, the glass is pushed in, I'm not sure what's going on, but that's a scenario, can I have my money back please? Instead I thought, well, what the heck, I paid for them, there's no harm. I just reached over the glass because it was already pushed in and I grabbed my chips. Went about my business, ate my dinner, everything was fine. Went to work Tuesday, everything was normal, came back. Wednesday morning I went up to the front because you have to check in and out every time you leave the halfway house. So I went to check out of the halfway house, and they wouldn't let me leave. They told me I had to wait to talk to my case manager. And normally I talk to my case manager every Wednesday morning, so it really didn't cause any suspicion in my mind, other than normally when my case manager wasn't there on time or she had something already scheduled, they would just let me go to work and I would do the appointment later on. So I thought it was a little bit strange that they wouldn't let me go to work. So I'm sitting here rattling my brain back and forth trying to figure out what it could possibly be. The vending machine never crossed my mind. So now we're a couple hours in, my case manager still hadn't come in, so I'm getting irritated now thinking, man, I should be at work right now. I'm losing money, and not to mention I have a ton of things I need to do for work. So it was about 11:30 on the 23rd. I saw a van pull up, and I've seen the van before because the U.S. Marshals, when they come to get people, if they're getting more than one person out of the halfway house, they'll usually show up with a transport van. And I saw the van, and I said to myself, no way they're here for me. I didn't do anything. But I got a little bit nervous anyway and just kind of started panicking. And sure enough, they were there for me. They called my name, brought me up to the front. I still didn't know what it was for at that point. They hadn't served me they have 24 hours to give you the incident report from the time of the event taking place. So they had like an hour left, and they handed it to me while I was already in handcuffs. And man, my mind just went blank, because really all I was thinking about was Rdap. I'm going to lose my year for Rdap, and I'm going to go back to Florida, basically back to federal prison, Coleman Low, where I was at. So let me read the incident report to you. And so basically, the incident report, it was given to me on March 23rd, and the date of the incident was March 21st. At approximately 11:30 on March 22nd, video footage was reviewed of events occurred in the dining hall between 3/21/2016 at 9 p.m. and 3/22/2016 at 11:30 a.m. Review of the video footage shows Mr. Wise, it's got my BOP number on there, at approximately 9:49 p.m. on 3/21, pushing open the glass display cover to the center vending machine in the dining hall and taking out product from the machine. And the actual, what they posted it as was stealing and theft. So when I got this, my immediate reaction was like, no, you gotta go back and look at the tape. Clearly you'll see me putting money in, da 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 da. Well, nothing could really be done at that moment. It was already in the hands of the BOP. Had already, launched their incident report, so there's nothing they could do at that time. They took me and another guy, because the guy that went before me, apparently he was the one that actually pushed open the glass, but on the videotape it's not real clear as far as when you're looking at mine. You can't necessarily tell if the glass was open, so their perception was I pushed in the glass and took the potato chips without paying. Well, I don't know necessarily if they thought it was without paying, but maybe they didn't rewind the camera at that point. So the other guy that they took, his incident report took place before mine, so clearly he had pushed in the glass already to take it out. So they came and investigated the report, told me they did see me looking like what it was to put money in the machine, but it wasn't super clear, so had to wait for the BOP to come back with their sanction. Took about 2 weeks sitting in the county jail, waiting there for what they were going to do. I had no idea if they were going to ever let me out or if it was going to get thrown out. I was hoping it was going to get thrown out, that they could see on tape that I paid for it. But it came back, they found me guilty, and they sanctioned me, what was it, 27 days or something like that, 27 days. 27 days of good time, plus I had to spend 27 days in county. So now, the negative downside to that was I've been out of work the entire time. Today is April 29th. Today is my first day back to work. So I've been out of work this entire time, which has been a loss of money. I also lost 27 days of good time, which means it pushes my home confinement date was May 18th to go home. Now it's 27 days beyond that date. I am appealing it just to see what happens. Maybe I'll win the appeal, maybe I won't. But right now I'm just counting on an extra 27 days, and it pushes my release date 27 days out. So instead of going home in September or whatever it was, now it's October something. So during those 27 days, I had some time to think, sitting there in county jail. Thinking, first I was just really mad and I wanted to blame everybody because I know I didn't actually steal it, because I know that I put the money into it. But where I went wrong was I took it upon myself to justify, because I paid, it should be okay to reach into the vending machine and take out the potato chips. Now maybe in the real world, when you're not already under a magnifying glass and you're involved with like halfway house and the BOP, and you're being scrutinized in everything you do, which is just part of the system, it just is what it is. In a real world, maybe this seemingly unimportant decision wouldn't have really mattered. I mean, how many times has somebody smacked the vending machine or gotten mad when it didn't give them their food after they paid for it? Those things normally don't really affect you, but in a situation that I'm in, I have to remember, basically I got to know my audience. And my audience right now is, I'm expected to be at a much higher standard than the regular person, because of what I've gone through. And especially, man, I went through Rdap, and it gives you all these tools. And I totally threw them out the window for about 20 minutes and did not think about my actions, didn't think about the consequences until it was too late and I was sitting in county jail. So sitting there in county jail, I had a lot of time to think. And man, I've only been to a couple of county jails, just like during transports and when this whole thing first started back in 2011. And this county jail was by far when I say roughest, I don't mean roughest as far as like scary, like fighting and stuff like that. Just roughest, nothing to do. You're in a small cell with one other guy or by yourself. I was in there for a week and a half by myself. You're in a 2-man cell, and your actual move-aroundable space is 11 foot by 3 foot, and there's nothing to do. And you're locked down Monday through Friday. You're not coming out of your cell for 23 hours. So they let you, well, actually a little bit more than that. They let you out for 40 minutes a day, twice. Once early in the morning and then once like mid-morning. It's not even at the end of the day. So you get out twice, Monday through Friday, for about 40 minutes, and there's really nothing to do. You get out, kind of walk around, you can take a shower, use the payphone real quick, and then by the time you've taken a shower and you made a phone call, it's time to go back and lock down. So you're locked down. They serve your food through a little, and I'll show you, I got some pictures here. Not real pictures, but some interesting pictures. They serve your food through the little tray in the door, and there's just nothing to do, man. And on Saturday and Sunday, you're locked down 24 hours a day, no showers. You've got a little tiny sink, and you press the button on the sink, and the water pressure is about that of a water fountain, when you like a drinking water fountain. So it's very little pressure. So I try to use that when I need to take a shower. It's kind of rough washing yourself, if you know what I mean, with a jet stream of a water fountain, and it's just not a fun environment to be in. But I did have a cellie in there, and he thought it was interesting because he'd been there a while already. So he's looking at me being brand new in here and going batty in the mind. So he drew a few pictures of me, which was kind of neat. He's actually a really good artist. A lot of wasted talent in jail. So this is the first one. This one is me basically just sitting in my bunk, really pissed off at myself, and just kind of like, you could tell that I don't want to be there. So here's the first picture. And the detail on here is very accurate. That's exactly what the toilet looks like, the sink right there. You got your mirror, and basically your move-aroundable space is like, from here there's a desk that sticks out, and then right about here there's a door. So basically pacing back and forth, that's your only real movement. The guy put quite a bit of detail into it, and basically it just shows me just sitting there miserable. Your clothes say inmate on them, so you can't forget where you are. And if you do wake up and you're not sure where you are, just look down and read your clothes, and you'll see inmate on there. Here's another picture he drew of me, because there's nothing else to do other than read. So I read some pretty interesting books in there, and that's his little signature on there. I forgot his name, but that's his. He draws a lot of pictures for people in there, and he'll draw you a picture for like a shot of coffee. So that's me reading books, just laying in my bunk, not doing anything. Very boring. Time doesn't go by. There's no TV in there. So yeah, so there's that one. And then he drew one of me. I tried to do a little exercise in there, just doing some burpees and basically running in place. So yeah, so these are the pictures. And I was pretty impressed with his artwork, He gave them to me, and I know he was expecting some coffee, and I had no problem giving him some coffee, because my loving, he even put my scar on there, if you can see, on this arm right there. That's basically this scar right here, and that's the little scar I got. That's blew my bicep off my tendon on a mechanical bull ride a couple years ago, back in 2010. So anyway, prison or jail. County jail is freaking worse than the federal prison I went to, where I had to self-surrender to. So needless to say, I have completely learned my lesson, and thank God and thank the people at the halfway house, because they all went to bat for me. They did what they had to do. They were doing their job. Can't blame anybody but myself, but they did, make it known that I've been doing what I was supposed to do for the most part at the halfway house, and I've been a pretty good candidate for halfway house like ankle monitor. Don't give anybody any trouble there. So they were pretty shocked that I made that stupid mistake, and they're happy that I came back. They've all come and talked to me and said, sorry, that's how it turned out, but rules are rules, man. And no matter how good you're doing, it only takes a second to slip up and break them, so you just really got to pay attention. The other thing that I did while I was in there was, there's nothing to do. There's cards if you have them, if you buy them, but I didn't know how long I was going to be there, so I don't want to waste money on cards. And my celly, I saw him making dice, and I was like, these dice look like real dice. What's he making dice with? So these are the dice. If you guys want to see them and hear them, they sound like real dice. So these are the dice. Basically, it's just toilet paper. You get a couple sheets of toilet paper, like 3 little squares, and you get it wet, and you make a square out of it, and you let it dry, and then you use pencil. And so when I had a celly, we were sitting there playing dice, not playing for anything, because neither one of us had anything. We were just, playing for fun. But I thought that was interesting. The kind of things that you find what to do while you're sitting in a county jail with absolutely nothing to do. The worst experience I've ever had in my life, and the best experience at the same time, because with all the time to think, just really focused on what I want to do and what's the point of doing certain things like these videos. I've gone back and forth with the idea of, and again, there's nothing against to any consultants out there that want to monetize. I want to monetize off my videos too. I just don't want to monetize off of the expense of the viewers that need this information, because not everybody can afford to pay a consultant, and I like making the videos, so I don't want to charge for the videos. If advertisers or different things like that want to pay me because it's marketing to people that are watching the videos, that's a different story. But as far as to the people that are watching my videos, I'm not going to do anything with any consultants that's going to charge the inmate money, even if it's the consultant wanting me to help them with some of their clients. You can charge your clients whatever you want, and if you have some questions for me about Rdap or anything, I'd be more than happy to answer those questions, but I don't want to charge for it. I make these videos for entertainment purposes for myself, and also I know you guys got questions, and I read a book in there, and I can't remember who wrote it. I wish I would have wrote that down off the top of my head, but Google the book. It's called Crush It, and it's a great book. It just gives you ideas on what you can do to find something that works for you, something you have some passion about. And I do have passion about this. I may not have all of the answers or even the best answers. I wasn't locked up for a lifetime. I was locked up, I got a 42-month sentence, and I only did 13 of it, thanks to Rdap, Good Time, and Halfway House. It looks like I got a year halfway house now, not just 11 months with this screw up that I made. But I still get lots of subscribers adding to my videos, and I get a lot of comments from you guys on basically telling me thanks, that this is helping you understand your own journey a little bit better. And that's pretty much the only reason I do these. So with that said, like I said, I am not turning down money. I do have a PayPal account. You guys are free to donate anything you want to donate, but it's not its purpose. I just want you guys to be able to get something out of it. If you can learn something from it, or if you have questions. I do have some really interesting videos coming up here, probably going to be starting, I would say like June, the beginning of June. We got some really neat stuff that I'm planning to do, so I am going to take rdapdan's YouTube channel to the next level, and it's going to be a little bit more directive and a little bit more staying on topic and not so much just kind of scatter all over the place. But you're probably never going to see me in a shirt and tie unless I want some kind of a crazy interview, and maybe even then. I don't see the need for it. I'm not trying to get you guys to give me your money, so if you don't like what I got to say, turn off the fucking computer and go watch somebody else. But if you like my videos, great. And if you hate them, tell me how much you hate them, because I like bad comments too. That way we get the real feel. But yeah, guys, I'm rdapdan. subscribe to my video, like my video, keep sharing my video, check out my Facebook. There's a lot of other people sharing their stories on Facebook. Got my website, federalprisontime.com. That's going to have some revamping coming soon too. And rdapdan.com. That one's, don't know what it's going to be yet. Right now it's like half of a blog and it's half of garbage. So, but I went and bought the names because I knew at some point I would do something with this. But I love all of the support and I love you guys, and I'm glad that you guys are getting something out of this. And for those of you getting ready to go to federal prison, it's not the end unless you have a life sentence, and that kind of sucks. But you know, maybe you can share what you're learning from inside the prison. I see a lot of people doing that, and you can write letters, send me letters, and I'll be more than happy to read them on the YouTube channel. So with that said, rdapdan.